Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to demonstrate how easy it is to fill the viewport for your next web page project. So filling the viewport is something that I think we should probably be doing for all of our web pages, especially starting off. It shows that we can kind of control and make use of the entire viewport space. And when I say viewport, I mean what that visitor is seeing on their web browser, regardless whether it's a phone device or a desktop device or something like that. I think to demonstrate this, I've got a blank page set up obviously here. Let's see, I'm going to do a Control-Shift-I. I'm going to head over to the device emulator, and then I can just move this off to the side. And yeah, so I'm basically looking at a viewport. I could change this out to iPhone 10 so we could see something like that. It's pretty good for now. Now on my page, nothing in the body of the page, and I'm going to start off with something that we can clearly see working. And I'm going to take the body of this page, give it a background color of tan. And when I look at this, okay, we can clearly see that that page is filled up with color. However, it's not the body that we're seeing. Background color and the boundaries of the body of the page are kind of weird. This will really stand out to you if I put a border on here. 10 pixels, solid, and we'll go with dark gray color. And look at that. The border is scrunched up right there at the very top of the page. So that's what I'm talking about, where the boundaries of the body are not what you think of as soon as you start to create your first web page. Now we can manipulate this a bit simply by putting in a min height, and I'll put in something like 500 pixels. And now we can start to see, that's starting to stretch out a bit more. However, we don't know how tall the device is going to be that the user is using to visit our web page. So our first thought might be to do, okay, well, let's try 100%. But look at that. It's collapsed on itself because it doesn't know what really 100% of. It doesn't know 100% of its parent. So that's not going to work for us. So instead, we're going to use something similar but different. 100 VHs stands for Viewport Height. Now the browser is actually going to look at the viewport of the user's device. And by putting that in, look at this stretch. Now you notice I can't see that bottom border. I have to kind of scroll up to catch it. And that's because there is this bare minimum of margin on here. And that's why we always want to use a reset rule. Now, I normally use an external reset rule, but I've commented it out for this video. So I'm just going to throw in a really simple reset rule here, where I use the asterisk as a wild card for all elements. And I'm going to set the margin to 0, the padding to 0, the border to 0, and the box sizing to border box. It's my go-to short reset rule. Now you could be thinking, wait a minute, border 0, but you want a border. That's okay. Since I'm doing the reset rule first in my styles, subsequent rules are going to override that when necessary. So although I started off with no margin and a 0 border, the body then says, wait a minute, I do want a border that's 10 pixels. Now by getting rid of that default margin and that default padding, we're going to see that now my border fills up the space here. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit brighter so it stands out to you. And there we go. So now fills up the space, and it's not just for this iPhone 10 device. This would also work if I was at iPad Pro. Notice that green-yellow border is filling up that space. We could go extra small, something like a Moto G4. And of course, if I exit out, and I go to a normal web page display, yeah, it's filling up the space. So basically what I want you to start to get in the habit of doing is for that initial styling of the body of your page, put in a min height of 100 VH. Now notice I'm not using height, I'm doing min height. If you're too specific with height, well then as you start to put in content, it's not going to affect the height of that parent element, in this case the body of the page. So put a min height of 100 VHs on the outermost parent block element, which is usually going to be the body of your web page. Thanks for hanging out with me.